It's 5 o'clock on a Wednesday, and it's time for...
Okay, can run the Magic TV show.
I'm Greg.
I'm Ryland.
And we're actually in head office this time, aren't we? Because we're heading off to a gig, so we're not at home. We're actually doing it here at the office. Ryland's just broken his elbow. And we've got Michael. We've actually got a camera person instead of you just turning the camera on, which is very, very exciting. We're back with another review show. We've got
Probably always wonky.
Is it wonky?
90% of the time.
But you fix it in the edit.
Yeah.
Yeah, he fixes it, so I don't...
Most of the time it's sort of like, here?
Well, we're back with another review show. We're reviewing 5 items this time. The reason we're reviewing 5 is because one of them... Will you stop doing that? It's a hard table. It's not like the table at home where it's soft and you can do that. It's a solid table, right? We're reviewing 5 items, and the reason is one of them is one that I'm just not willing to perform. I'm not willing to set up. It's one of the worst tricks that I've ever seen.
You could probably guess who it's by.
Well, they can guess, but we'll get to that. Stop it. We'll get to that a little bit later on. But first of all, we're going to have a look at a brand new TCC trick. So we're going to have a look at that one first. So first up, we have Ring Box by TCC. I know you're a big TCC fan. They created probably one of your favourite tricks of all time. The X-Light. You use it all the time, don't you? But Ring Box is basically a ring box. It looks like, I'll show it you. It looks like this, and it's designed to make a ring appear and disappear in a very self-working way. Now, I will say, before we show you a performance of this, this is very, very different to the old Sans Mines rings box. I use the old Sans Mines ring box in my show to vanish a ring in real time that the audience give me, and in my cabaret show, I actually use that ring box to vanish a ring that the audience lend me. The thing with that ring box is that you can vanish it, you can put it in the ring box, have the spectator hold onto it, they can vanish it, and you can steal it out. You can't do that with this. You literally put a ring in, it vanishes, and you have to bring it back. We'll talk about...
Maybe they can make it so there's a little flap at the bottom and it opens up and the ring slides into your hand.
Well, now you've just described the Sans Mines ring box.
Oh.
There's a little thing there, and you push it, and it slides straight into your hand. It's so...
I didn't know!
Yeah, it's so much better than this in so many different ways. And this is not bad. This is not bad by any stretch of the imagination, but the Sans Mines one's better. Just so you can see exactly what it looks like.
I would probably use the Sans Mines over this.
Yeah, well, when Sans Mines closed down, I actually got 3 of them because I do it in my... You know that trick I do by Cody Fisher where the ring vanishes and ends up in a ball of wool inside a Perspex box held by the spectator, and it's that music. That, I use the ring box to make that... Yeah. That one, yes. I used that ring box to that, and I've got 3 of them.
Cool.
You couldn't do that with this because you can't steal the ring out. You can just make it disappear. We're going to have a quick look at a performance that Ryland did for Instagram, just so you can see exactly what it looks like, and then we'll bring it in. We'll go through the pros and cons.
A little story. It was recently my mum's birthday, and my dad brought her this really cool ring, and she kept it in this box it came in, and it's a pretty cool box. So we just put it in the box, and one day she just left it on the side, and I saw it and I was like, oh, maybe I could do some magic, and I started like waving my hands over, and I started like snapping my fingers, so I was like going like this and this and this, and then I had to look, and the ring was actually gone. Like, my mum was like, she was really mad, and she was like, you better make it reappear, and I was like, and it just wouldn't do it. I'm just like snapping my fingers and it wouldn't come back, until I realised that if I really believed in magic and I really thought about magic, if I really focused, I could make that ring reappear. What?
Now, you love this more than me. I'm not a big fan of this. I know you liked it more than me. Here's my issues with it. Number 1, this does not look like a ring box. This looks like a ring box for a giant. Now, I know you've got not much experience with ring boxes, but Michael, you're behind the camera. Does this look like a normal-sized ring box? Yeah.
This... and they're usually like smaller than this. They're smaller than the Nintendo plug. They're usually like that, aren't they?
Yeah, they're normally quite small, which is the size of the Sans Mines one. This, I think that if you bought this out, honestly, it looks like a magic prop.
It's a giant.
Yeah. Also, have you ever seen a ring box, Michael, that looks like that inside? Because I've never seen a ring box that looks like that inside. To me, this screams magic
Daddy,
prop.
I know how to not make it look like that.
How?
Now it doesn't look like that because there's no ring.
No, but it still
Yeah,
looks...
no, it doesn't look like that.
Yes, it still looks
No,
exactly
no,
the
it
same.
doesn't, because there's no ring.
Yeah, it makes no difference whether the ring's there or not. The fact is, this looks like nothing on God's green earth. This does not look... As soon as you pull this out in front of a live audience, they're going to go, oh, okay, right, that's a magic prop then. Like, it's just obvious that it's like, no, I know you've not got much experience with ring boxes. I've got slightly more experience than you. But if you showed somebody this and said, I've got this perfectly normal ring box...
Blinded me.
Don't care.
Your head's too bored. That's my eyes. The light's bouncing off your head.
Then just look that way, okay?
Yeah, but there's more lights.
Just try your best, okay? Try and be the pro that you know that you are. This looks like a magic prop, and so that's the first thing. The second thing is, I don't see much practical use for it. You can borrow a ring and you can make it disappear,
Well,
but you're gonna have to bring it back because you can't like take it out the box
and you have to,
secretly.
and you have to like bring. Yeah, I mean, could you? I don't think you could steal it in any way possible.
And the other thing is, no, you can't steal it, unlike the Sans Wine box. Also, put it in. I really struggle with it. I find it difficult to use.
Yeah, because
Vanish it for me.
Yeah.
Just vanish it. You can't do this close up, because if you were close up to somebody and you opened it up and they looked down at it, you can see the ring in there through the gap. Like, you can see where the ring is. If you were on stage, it would be fine.
Yeah.
But close up, if you do this, people will go, oh, and then they're going to see it there and they're going to do this. And when they do, they're going to see exactly how it works.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's not a close up. Yeah, exactly. So it's not examinable. It's not able to be done close up. You can do it on stage, but I don't know why you'd want to, because it's humongous and it serves no purpose. On the tutorial, which is 10 minutes long with no live performance, they go through how to make the ring appear, how to make it disappear, how to switch rings. Now, that's the one thing that you might be able to do. You can borrow a ring and switch it for a duplicate ring, but then you've still got the problem of getting their ring out of there. You could turn a ring into a 10 pence, for example, because it works with small coins. It's
Maybe you could make it disappear. Use a duplicate ring that, I don't know, to make it do stuff with it. Make the duplicate ring disappear and say, look in the box and know it's the
Yeah, it's very easy to do. You're going to be able to open it 10 minutes after watching the tutorial. You're going to be able to do that. You know, it's a nice thing to do on social media like he is. But honestly, I can't see anybody using this. I can't even see like somebody who just performs socially for friends and family doing this. Like leave the ring box on their bed, on their, you know, in their living room, and as people come, I just don't see anyone doing.
I don't think I'm going to use it.
What are you going to give it?
79%. I think.
79%.
Right, no, but the ring box is a little bit big
I'm
for a
giving-
normal ring box.
I love-
60%.
I love TCC. I think
TCC
TCC
is awesome.
makes some of the greatest products, but nobody's perfect. I mean, look at me. I bought out Pool Ball Miracles. Nobody's perfect. Shut up. Nobody's perfect. And I would say this gets 20% from me. This is, I think 69% off you is very, very
No, I gave it
generous.
60.
60%. I think 60% is generous. I'm giving it 20%. I don't like it. I'm not going to use it. I think it's I don't know. You could probably use it as a doorstop. Maybe. I don't know. That'd be the best thing you could use it for. Not very good. Sorry, TCC. Love you, though. Okay, so next up by Stella Magic Shop and Chris Congreave is... You leave my thing alone.
Idiot.
Next up by Chris Congreave and Stella Magic Shop is White Wedding. Now,
We love Chris.
we do love Chris. We think Chris is absolutely amazing. Chris is a commercial worker. Chris knows what is going to work in the real world. You know that when you get a Chris Congreave trick, it's going to work. And it's going to be really easy, and it's going to allow you to focus on presentation.
This doesn't do pool ball miracles.
Shut up. Pool Ball Miracles was not that... Okay, it was that bad. But look, you're right, it's better than Pool Ball Miracles. But then again, 90% of Peter Eggink's releases are better than Pool Ball Miracles. Right, White Wedding by Chris Congreave. What this is a packet trick, and Chris has designed it for weddings. It's designed for weddings. There's not even like a tutorial or anything like that. It's old school. It's instructions. You have to read them. They've got pictures. It's very wonderful. It brought me back to the
I don't
early days.
like pictures.
Will you stop throwing stuff? What's your problem? Like, this
I
is a
don't
great
like
trick.
written instructions.
I do. Learn to read. Buy a book.
I read books more than you. So, yeah.
So, what is White Wedding? Well, you're about to see a performance of it. I performed it earlier on to Jack and to Ryland. And the presentation you're about to see, by the way, is my presentation. The presentation Chris uses is very much kind of a 3-card trick mixed with Anniversary Waltz. I kind of went in a different route with it. But I just want to point that out because if you think it's a terrible presentation, it's not the one you get with the instructions. But let's have a look at this. This is White Wedding by Chris Congreave. This is a trick using 5 cards. It uses 3 blank cards.
Yep.
Okay. And it uses a king and a queen of hearts. And I'm going to tell you one of my favourite genres in movies is romantic comedies. I love a good romantic comedy. We've already established that you don't like romantic comedies. You can't even name a romantic comedy. We've had this before.
I can have a few.
Go on, name one.
Romeo and Juliet.
That's not a romantic
It is.
comedy.
It is.
No, it's
It was
not.
funny. I laughed
It's
watching
not-
it.
It's not a romantic comedy.
was.
It's not a romantic. It's not a romantic comedy.
It had romance in it and had comedy in it.
Where was the comedy? Where was the comedy?
When fucking what's his name was dressed as a drag queen going, young hearts run free. Pissed myself watching that.
What?
I'm not wrong, am I? But...
Yes, you are very wrong.
all right, then, all right. Love Actually.
Love Actually, I'll give you Love Actually. Although it's not that funny, it's a bit of a comedy. But it is, I suppose, there's elements that are funny. I'll give you that. She's all that. She's the one. Never been kissed. 51st dates. Wedding singer.
I've seen 51st Dates.
You like it?
It's all right.
Romantic comedy. Anyway, I'm going to show you the plot of
What are you guys on about?
I don't even know.
Right, just watch the trick, all right?
Naming random things.
Right, this is I'm going to use these cards to demonstrate to you what every romantic comedy is all about. There's always 3 parts to the story. There's the beginning, there's the middle, and there's the end. So these 3 blank cards are going to represent the beginning, the middle, and the end. And there's always 2 people that you can tell right from the beginning of the movie they're destined to be together. They're the perfect couple, but it takes them until the end of the film to actually find out that they love each other. Those 2 roles are going to be played
Isn't
by...
that long?
Have you ever seen a romantic comedy? Look, we're not getting into that
Let's
now.
not go back into that.
Right, and those roles are going to be played by the King of Hearts and the Queen of Hearts. Can you hold your hand out for me?
They're like girlfriend and boyfriend. Or something.
They're like girlfriend and boyfriend, yes. But not yet. They're going to get there by Act 3. So do me a favour, can you put your other hand on top? And can you name... so I can't see them at all. There you go, that's great. So we'll turn them around that way. I don't want to be able to see them. And what can you name a card for me, Queen or King?
King.
Okay, I'll take the Queen out. You can hold on to the King for now. And bring your hands down there for a couple of seconds. That's great. You hold on to the King. So the whole idea is, during this story, the king, the male lead in this romantic comedy, will always be chasing the girl, but will never quite be able to get her. And the film will progress, and the film will progress, and he'll be looking for the girl, and just when you think something's going to happen and they get together, something else happens, they end up going further apart. It's this whole thing that always happens. Now, if you'd seen a romantic comedy, this presentation would make total sense. So let's say that there's a part in the film where the girl is there and she meets the boy, and the boy goes to meet her at the same spot at the same time, and then she's not there, and the reason she's not there is because she never left, and he thinks that she doesn't care about him, and it's all terrible. And then you, the audience, you're watching and you're convinced they're going to get together. Because you can see what's happening. You can see that girl is about to meet up with that guy, and then what happens is that something happens. Something always happens. Something always happens, Jack, so that they end up not getting together. It's tragic, really, but there's always that moment where they end up not getting together. Like, do you know where that queen is?
At home having chocolate.
Huh?
At home having chocolate.
Well, it's definitely not here.
What the
Definitely not here. And the reason it's definitely not here is because I told you at the very end of the film, they always get together. The girl and the guy. That's what makes the definitive romantic comedy. They always get together. And if you have a look at that king you've been holding the whole time, now
We're together.
they're together permanently until the film ends, and then they break up horribly. But up until that point, there,
Is that the sequel, is it?
that's the sequel, the breakup, yeah. There you go. Did you understand that trick
I
at all?
separate them.
Don't you dare! Don't you even think about it. That's my new Chris Congreave. That's my new Chris Congreave trick. So, look, what you just saw is the trick. It's like a 3-card Monty with 4 cards mixed with an anniversary waltz. And I love that finale. I love that you put those 2 cards in between their hands from the beginning, and at the end, the queen vanishes and appears on the card that they're holding. The only thing that I wish, and if Chris is listening to this, I really think this would be a good idea. I'd love Chris to make refill packs available, because I could see myself doing this at weddings, and I could see myself doing this for couples. I think this would go really, really well.
Yeah.
But I'd love to give that card away at the end.
Yeah.
I think giving that card away at the end to a couple would be amazing. But obviously, I don't want to buy the trick every single time. So, Chris, if you're watching this, I'd love to see refills available of just that 1 card.
Yeah.
But in terms of the actual methodology, it's easy to do.
Yeah.
It's just a couple of, very simple false counts that you can do if you've got any skill with cards, which is why Ryland would struggle. Go on, grab 4 cards and do an Elmsley count right now. Harry Nardi, no, don't, please don't. You're going to embarrass yourself. You've got a reputation. That's not an Elmsley count. That's a Hammond count.
Shut up. It's like...
That's a Hammond count as well.
No. It's like...
Also a Hammond count. Nope. I don't even know what that is. You're embarrassing yourself now.
Shut up.
Doesn't do card tricks. Right, yeah, so, if you can do a simple Elmsley count, unlike Harry Nardi and Ryland, then you'll be fine. But it's just a couple of simple false counts, and then that allows you to do this whole routine. Will you stop nodding? It's weird.
I knew you'd find out eventually. I knew you'd eventually see it.
It's a great trick. It's really, really good. It's a really fun packet trick. It's kind of flown under the radar. It's available through Murphy's, so it's available from all good magic dealers. But not a lot of people are talking about it. It doesn't even have a thread on the Magic Cafe. And I don't know why, because this is a really commercial trick. I think it's because it's not an all singing, all dancing, big, massive release. I think a lot of people have overlooked it. But this, if you do weddings or you do events where there's couples, this is really good. I'm definitely putting this into my packet trick set. I love it. You get an extra queen as well. So if you don't want to do the finale that you saw and you want the queen to just reappear somewhere else, he talks about how you can stick this queen anywhere, like into a spectator's pocket, or not stick it in your bum, Ryland. No, you stick it somewhere. And you can make it appear from wherever it is you've stuck it earlier on. But I prefer the king-queen reveal. I love this. I'm going to give this...
Why can't you stick a ribbon?
I'm not even going to answer that. It's fairly obvious, I think.
Is it?
Yes. Give it a rating.
79%. It's very good. I don't think I'll do it. Because I don't do card tricks.
What he's saying, let me translate that to you. It's very good, but I can't do an Elmsley count, so I'm not going to bother. So, he used to be able to do an Elmsley count when he was 7. He's just not bothered for a while.
I do a Hammond count. Easily.
I will do this wrap-up in the style of Chris Congreave. This was an absolutely amazing trick. I absolutely love it. Ryland's giving it 79%. I'm going to give it 95%. I think that if you do restaurants, this is bloody fantastic. You can get it from all good magic dealers, or you can go to stellamagic.co.uk and get it directly from Chris Congreave. Thanks very much. Let's move on with the next review. Love that. Okay, so next up, you are going to see a performance and a review of My Colouring Deck by Jordan.
Like yours?
That's the name of the trick.
This is Jordan's?
Jordan Victoria's, but
Yeah,
it's called My
It's
Colouring.
Jordan's?
It's called My
No,
Colouring.
no, it's not yours. It's Jordan's colouring book.
No, it's Jordan Victoria's My
Jordan's
Colouring
colouring
Deck.
It's Jordan's deck, not yours. It's not my colouring deck. It's Jordan's colouring deck.
It's Jordan Victoria's My Colouring Deck.
No, it's not my colouring deck. It's Jordan Victoria's colouring deck.
Next up is a review of Jordan Victoria's Colouring Deck, which is... God help me. Which is a new deck of cards. It's actually really cheap. I think it's like £10 or £12 or something. It's very, very inexpensive. Wow. And basically what it is
it's a very clever trick.
It is
because basically you get some blank cards when
how about we let them hang on, whoa. How about we do a performance of it? Then you don't have to explain it, and we can save people from that 10-minute. experience that I've had to go through already. Here's a performance of me doing my colouring deck, Jordan Victoria's colouring deck, to Ryland and Jack. I've got a deck of cards here, but this is a very special deck of cards. And the reason it's special is because there's no ink on the fronts of the cards. Now, to be clear, the backs of the cards have ink on them. They're normal. They've been printed. But the front of the cards, they don't have ink. These are what cards look like before they're printed. These are yet to be printed. They're kind of called factory misprints because they forgot to print the front of them in the
Well, someone got fired.
yeah, in the factory, yeah. Here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. Being a magician, I can actually look at these cards and I know what each card is. Like these two on the front, you can see straight away they're the two jokers. Now you
That
probably
was
can't.
9 of clubs.
Yeah, exactly. 9 of diamonds actually, but you're close. Actually, a queen. Or whatever, it doesn't really matter. Queen of hearts, I think. We're going to pop those away there. Okay, we'll get back to them in a little bit. We'll put them over there. We'll put it over there. And I'm going to show you something kind of crazy. But before I do, let me ask you a question. Jack, can you see any faces on that deck?
No.
You can't. Now, you're a magician, Ryland. Can you see the faces on that deck?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course you can. Can you, Jack?
Nope.
I can kind of see them. a little.
I don't have the gift.
Okay, well, I'm going to try and make it a little bit easier for you to see, Jack, just for you, okay?
Oh, you're nice.
Watch. If I rub, I should be able to print a queen right there on the face. Does that look a little bit...
Yeah,
That's better.
does that look a little bit better? Can you see the queen right there?
It's some colour, but yeah. It's better.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't just get the queen. I got the 6. I didn't just get the 6. I got the 2. I didn't just get 2. I got the 10. I didn't just get the 10. I got the ace. In fact, my friend, I got every single one of them, and we've got all of the cards now.
What the heck?
Yeah, every single card. So now we can technically play cards, but the problem is, you are right. It happens sometimes. You are right. We have a distinct lack of colour. Now, you, being a magician, you can see the colour. Can you see the colour?
Nope.
We just have to make it a little bit easier for Jack to see. Can you see the colour now, Jack? You should be able to see the colour on
I
that
can
one.
see it now.
Let's see if we can just spread that colour out now. You can see the colour on each one of these cards. Every single one of them, you can see the colour on them.
I
and
think the
that's
cards were cooler when they were grey.
I think they were, but now we've got an entire deck of cards printed right there with all of the colours on them. Oh, except for the 2 jokers. Hang on a minute. We'll sort those as well. So that is Jordan Victoria's colouring deck, and it's a great trick as an opener. If you're doing parlour or you're doing a formal close-up show and you want to do something that really grabs people's attention, I love that they've taken the colouring book and they've really kind of put it and expanded it into a deck of cards. The actual effect itself looks beautiful. The tutorial is very, very simple. He goes through everything. There's a couple of moves in there, like a twirl change and a nerd change. He explains how all of those are done so you can understand everything immediately. The cards are obviously gaffed, so they do a lot of the work for you. All you have to do is you just need to make sure that you follow the instructions. And as long as you've got some basic card handling skill, you'll be able to do that trick that you saw me do almost immediately. The one negative, and I think it's worth talking about this, is the deck is not examinable in any way, shape or form. It's not even close to being examinable.
Really?
Not, well, you know.
I never knew. It's definitely not heavily gimmicked.
It's very heavily gimmicked. It's
Oh, I
especially,
didn't know.
it's a specially printed deck.
Wow. I'm surprised.
It's a specially printed deck that does all of the work for you.
Specially printed. Oh, is this why it's grey?
However,
Can I get one? I want a grey deck.
yes.
Yay.
However,
I love grey decks.
can you let me finish? Please, can you let me finish? It's specially printed. It means that you're not going to be able to examine it at any point. At the beginning, in the middle, at the end, you're not going to be able to examine it. Now, you need to bear that in mind, because here's the thing. The effect, and just be serious for a minute, think about this. The effect is that the cards are printing in slow motion. I think if you were doing this in extreme close-up situations, people would want to look at that deck. And there's moments in the performance that are put in there by Jordan that are kind of convincers, that let people apparently see every single card in the deck. But if somebody said, hey, let me look at those cards, they couldn't.
Yeah.
That's something that I think is worth pointing out. It depends.
Hang on. My watch is pinging.
Can
It says Apple ID verification. Enter password for
we-
something at something.com.
Good stuff.
And then it says
Right.
in settings, not.
Can we
And then
please-
it's got have a click. Not now settings.
Right.
Which one should I click?
I don't care. I
probably
genuinely
click that
don't care. I'm trying to talk about
Do you like that?
Oh, that's actually really nice. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Can we just stop it? You might... Look, right. Listen. Can we just for 2 minutes? Can we focus? Thank you. Take him to work. He thought. Get him to do a review show here. I thought. Good idea. You told me it would be a bad idea, Michael. I didn't listen to you. Next time I will. Right. You're doing this on purpose. This is what you're doing the same thing that I do with Mum with the washing up. When she asks me to wash up, I purposefully do a terrible job. And at least no. Put it back on. Put it back on.
But it was bouncing off your head.
No,
It's
put
too
it
bold.
right. Seriously,
It's
come
too
on.
bold.
Right, put it back on.
It's too bold.
Come on, sit down. Be serious.
Oh, stick up.
Please be serious, just for a second.
Stick. Ow!
I'm so, Jordan, Victoria, if you're watching this review, hoping to see something
We also listen to you
sensible.
go like, so this is what I do to mommy. I go blah 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 blah.
You're more hyper than normal today. I don't know what's going on. I'm just because you're here. I'm so sorry. Look, the trick itself.
Look on his hand.
The trick itself is very, very good. And I love performing it. I think it's very beautiful. I think it's a beautiful piece of magic. I think it's the sort of thing that you could see in a competition act at the beginning of a competition act to print the deck. But you're not going to be able to then use that deck for anything else unless you do a deck switch. That's the other thing. If you're thinking, oh, this would make a great opener, I can make the deck appear and then I can go into another routine. You're not going to be able to do that. This deck is literally only going to be used for this one trick. It resets almost instantaneously. It's all self-contained inside the box. It's very easy to do. But honestly, I'm not going to do it because I just think in the places that I perform, people are going to want to look at that deck. And honestly, there's other ways that I can achieve this same sort of thing without actually going down this route. That's not to say it's not good. I think it is a very good trick. I think that the thinking behind it is very, very clever. It's just not for me, which is why it's getting 79%. What about you?
It's gonna get I think I probably won't do this because it's card trick. I like 79% as well.
79%. 79% for me and Ryland. It's pretty good. If you like it, get it. It's just not for us. Okay, so next up, we've got an item that everybody has been talking about, which is Homebound by Peter
I like
Eggink.
talking about it for good reasons.
I'm taking the fifth. This is Homebound
Don't know
by
what that means.
This is Homebound by Peter Eggink, and it says, you know, in the strapline, super smooth, Homebound by Peter Eggink. Now, let's talk first of all about a major positive. Peter has upgraded his filming location from his back garden. He's no longer performing in his back garden. He says he's performing in his office. His office looks an awful lot like a kitchen. He's got a sink behind him and he's got a kitchen table he's on. But, you know, it's an office. We'll call it an office. It's a kitchen, but we'll call it an office. And it doesn't matter about the filming
This is
location, though.
probably in the bathroom.
It's not. He's not in the bathroom. It doesn't matter what the location is as long as the trick is good. Now,
That's why there's a sink there.
anybody who's been watching mine and Ryland's review show for the last few years will know that recently we've not been particularly happy with a lot of the routines that Peter's come out with. And let me explain why. A lot of the time, the routines that you see Peter come up with, it's not like they're not workable. It's not like they haven't got clever methods, but it's almost like the methods are too clever for their own good. Like you look at the one he did a little while ago that we gave a bad review to, CTC. It was a coin into glass, if you remember. And it wasn't a terrible method, but it was this whole convoluted thing where the glass was on a pack of cards and the card, you know, it was obvious as to what was going on, but it was clever.
Yeah.
But it was just, it was the sort of thing that you'd just be like, I'm never going to do that.
It's clever, but it's not workable.
It's not workable, right. Now, this is apparently based on something called Exit. He brought out years ago. I've not seen Exit, but he references that at the beginning. And you're not going to see a performance of this. And the reason you're not going to see a performance of this is because, honestly, I'm not going to go to the trouble of making this up. I've watched the tutorial a couple of times. There's no live performance. Just like, I wish half of the time my criticisms about Peter would be put to bed if he would just include a live performance. He never includes a live performance. And any creators out there, if you don't include a live performance, I don't understand why you're not doing that. Because it's so easy now.
If it's your trick and you're saying it's really good and you use it, why can't you just film it?
Why can't you just film it? It's not like it's a difficult thing to do these days. Just grab an iPhone, go out there, perform it to a group of people, get a live performance. If it's as good as you say it is, it should be very easy to include a live performance. And if you're not including a live performance, when you've obviously got a camera set up in your office to film this tutorial, it obviously means that you've not got any confidence performing it. Else, why would you not do that? Like, you've gone to the trouble of packaging it up, making a logo, making graphics, making all of the gimmicks. Why not spend the extra 5 minutes making a performance video? I don't understand that. But and from my point of view, if you've not got a live performance, there's something going on, and I don't know what it is. But anyway, by the by, there's no live performance.
I've heard that phrase before. What the hell does by the by mean?
It just means, oh well, forget about it. Let's just move on. It's kind of that sort of thing. By the way, but you know, the most important thing is the trick, right? So what this trick is, Homebound, you borrow a key. You could borrow a ring if you wanted to. He talks about that at the end of the tutorial. It's about 25 minutes, but yeah, he borrows a key. He does it with a key. He takes the key into his hand. He does this. It's a very clean vanish. His hands are shown empty. And then he has you feel underneath his t-shirt, underneath his jumper, sorry. And then when he takes it out from underneath his jumper, he's got a chain around his neck. And the key is attached to a kind of a little sort of key fob. So there's a key fob on the chain around his neck. He doesn't take the chain off, but he opens up the key fob.
Is it a borrowed key?
And he gives the key back. Yeah, it's a borrowed key.
That'd be pretty cool, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, the actual effect...
That effect would be pretty cool.
In essence, what you have here is you have a ring or a key to impossible location. It's a little bit... And look, here's the thing. This sort of thing has been done before. My favourite way of doing this is the Regal ring chain. And the nice thing about the Regal ring chain is when you make the ring disappear, you show it's on the on the chain, and then you take the chain off and you hand it to them, and they can slide it off the chain. One of the problems with Homebound, in my opinion, is the key is not vanishing and appearing on the chain. The key is vanishing and appearing clipped onto a clip that's clipped onto the chain. So you never take the chain off your neck. You pull it out from underneath your jumper, you show that there's a clip on your chain, and you unclip. Well, it's not that it looks bad.
Yeah, but if you've got a clip connected to a clip with the key.
Yeah, it's kind of like, you'd never have a chain around your neck. Nobody would ever carry a chain, or nobody would ever wear a chain
That's got a clip and a key. It would just be
it's just a clip on the chain, clip, and then key on the clip. Nobody would ever. Yeah, it does. It looks weird, right?
Why would you have that extra clip? Surely if you're gonna put it on, then just undo it.
If you're gonna have something appear on a clip, I would use something like Ring Flight Revolution or the Masika key fob,
Oh, the purse with like the clip with the chain.
Yeah, that sort of thing. You'd use something like that where it goes into your keychain in your back pocket. You wouldn't use this. The reason like a Ring Flight Revolution works. The reason a Ring Flight Revolution works as well as it does is because it makes sense that sort of clip is on a set of keys. You don't see that clip on the chain. I don't think that was made very, very clear in the ad copy. So the first thing you need to be aware of is it's not actually going on the chain. If you want it to go on a chain, there's a couple of different ways of doing that. Sean Fields does it, but the Regal ring chain is my favourite way of doing it. And you can take the chain off and show the ring or the key is on there. This is not the case. So that's the first thing to bear in mind. The second thing to bear in mind, and it doesn't say this in the ad copy anywhere, there are some pretty severe clothing requirements that you need to take into consideration. So when he teaches it, you have to be wearing a jumper. You have to.
What if you're being in a sunny day?
You have to be wearing a jumper. Okay, you have to be wearing a jumper. And you have to really be wearing a t-shirt under that jumper. So there has to be a t-shirt with a jumper on top.
Yeah, so
and the reason the t-shirt has to be underneath the jumper is to provide friction for what's happening. Without that t-shirt there. Now, in all fairness, Peter does go through a method of doing this without the t-shirt on. But he says that if you haven't got the t-shirt on, because of the chain being against your skin, there's not that friction there, so you have to kind of do an extra thing in order to make the trick work, and it looks slightly less clean.
Doing it against your jumper?
No, yeah, you can do, but he really suggests using a using a t-shirt underneath the jumper. Regardless, whether you have that t-shirt under the jumper or not, you need a jumper. If you were the sort of person that walks around like this in a t-shirt, or what you're wearing, Michael, we couldn't do that trick. We could not do this. Just wearing a t-shirt, you wouldn't
I'm
really.
never going to use it then, because
You wouldn't be able to do it. He talks about how you can wear. You can do it with a shirt and a tie, but he doesn't actually explain in the tutorial how to do it with a shirt and a tie. And that kind of confused me, because I think the only way you could do it is by undoing the tie, undoing the shirt, and then bringing the chain out. I'm not 100% sure. But you couldn't do it. There are severe clothing requirements that you need to be aware of. So that's the second thing. The third thing that you need to be aware of is, realistically, the way that you want to perform this, which is the way that he teaches it, is you want to, and you'll see this in the trailer. If you go and look at the trailer, you start sitting down, and you borrow the ring sitting down, but then you stand up to do the second bit. Now, for me, I'm either standing up or I'm sitting down. If I'm doing walk around, I'm standing up. I'm not going to sit down specifically to borrow an item and then stand up. And if I'm doing like maybe restaurants, or I'm doing like a private party, and I'm sitting down with people, I'm sitting down. It'd be weird for me to stand up just for one moment and then sit down again. But you do have this thing where you have to sit down and you have to stand up, and that's the choreography of the trick. That's something you need to be aware of as well. And there's no other way that Peter teaches how to do that. So those are the negatives. There is one other negative, then we'll go into the positives. The other negative is it's quite an intense hookup in terms of how it works. There is a one-time setup that will probably take about an hour, maybe half an hour to an hour to set up. Once it's set up, you then put the setup on. It'll take you about 5 minutes to put it on. And then once it's on for the night. You can reset between performances relatively easily. But the setup means that there's a lot going on without giving too much away. There's an awful lot going on. You're going to be tying up your back pocket. You're going to be tying up a whole bunch of stuff. Yeah. I can't really give away what the hookup is, but there's quite a big hookup that you need to be aware of. I don't know how I can say it without saying it, so I'm not going to say it, but you need to be aware of there's quite a big hookup. Now, the advantage there is that once you've performed it, the reset is about 5 to 10 seconds. So when you want to, when you walk away from the table, you literally have to do one thing and you're reset, ready to go again. But you can't, one of the other negatives is you can't ever take the chain off. You can't take the chain off. So you take the chain out from underneath your jumper and you show that the key's on there, but you can't take the chain off. Even if somebody said, take the chain off, you can't. Now, he's built subtleties into the performance to show that the chain is really around, but that involves altering your jumper. It involves sewing something into your jumper if you want to do that subtlety. All in all, look, this is a method that works. Would this work? Absolutely, it would work. But it's a little bit like a lot of Peter's stuff, in that it's almost like, and I've used this before with Peter, I'm going to use it again. It's a little bit like swatting a fly with a submachine gun. It's kind of like, you know, it's just overkill. You know, to get a ring to an impossible location, I could just take, swatting a fly with a submachine gun? Never. You know, you look at something like the Masika ring chain that came out recently. You just throw that whole unit in your back pocket. It's in your back pocket. When you want to go up, you perform it. Boom, it's done. You hand the ring out on the keychain. They can even be holding onto the rings from the very beginning, and they don't even realise it. And then you reset immediately by throwing it in your back pocket. You know, that is an instant hookup. It's if I was going to want to do a ring to impossible location, I would use something like that, like a Prop Dog Ring Flight Revolution or a Masika Ring Flight. If I was going to do a ring to ring chain, I'd probably do a Regal Ring Flight. This works, but it's a very convoluted method, and I don't think many people will do this. It's why I'm not going to perform it, because I know I'm not going to do it, and I'm not going to spend the hour it's going to take to have this set up and put all of the bits and pieces together in order to do it. Everything seems to be well made. I've looked at all of the props. The tutorial's well done. He explains everything very, very clearly. Like I said, there's no live performance. But I just think this is overkill. I just don't think this is a particularly great way of doing this effect. It's not terrible, but I can't see anyone using this. I cannot see anybody buying this and doing it. It's going to end up in people's bottom drawers. And that's the big problem I have with a lot of Peter Eggink stuff. It's not that it's completely unworkable. I mean, some of it is, like that tornado that blew up when we reviewed it within 5 seconds and almost set the kitchen on fire. You know, when you said Peter Eggink burned down my house. But like, it's not like that. This is workable. It would work, but I just can't see anybody working it. It's like taking out a fly with a hand grenade.
AK-47.
Yes.
AK-47.
I'm gonna give this.
It's like taking a World War II machine gun, like trying to kill him off.
40%. What are you giving it?
Probably 50%.
50%.
Yeah.
50% from Ryland, 40% from me. Homebound by Peter Eggink. Okay, so the final review today is kind of interesting, to be perfectly honest. This is a prop that would be perfect for a kids entertainer, or somebody that was maybe wanting to do a cabaret show. It's effectively...
I look the Netflix.
I know, yes. It's effectively a way of making 3 silks vanish and appear in an impossible location. Now,
in the stomach.
I'm going to show you a video of Ryland doing this on Instagram.
You said impossible.
I'm going to show you a video of Ryland doing this on Instagram so you can see exactly what it looks like. Spoiler alert, the silks don't go into your stomach. They go into a little wooden box. Once we've had a look at the performance, we'll come back and we'll talk about what we think.
I think it's very good.
That it?
Yeah.
No wonder you're one of the best reviewers on the planet. I think it's very good. Thank you for that. Come back next week for more insightful reviews from Ryland Petty. Do you want to be slightly more specific?
I think the moment when it comes back is pretty cool.
It's even more insightful, isn't it? It's great. This is why people come and watch this review show. Oh, they could go to Magic Orthodoxy. They could go to Steve Faulkner and see real magic reviews. They could go to Michael O'Brien. They could go to Tyler Lunsford. They could go to Unbiased Magic Reviews. They could go to everybody pro magic or whatever. No. They come to you and me.
Isn't it everything pro magic?
Not really. Don't know. Everything. Everyone.
It's everything.
Don't care. But they come to you because obviously they want the insight from you. And you say, I like where it comes back. You want to be a little bit more specific. Talk a little bit about the box.
The box looks very cool.
Right, I'll take over. First of all, it's very easy to do. The gimmick is inside the box and it does all of the work for you.
It does.
They literally, I love the fact that there's a front door, there's a back door.
If you can do this, you're done.
That's it. That literally is the move, isn't it?
It's literally...
That's the move.
That's the move. What?
We're not joking either. That is the move. It's so easy to do.
That's not the move, is this? What?
Now, obviously, when you saw Ryland did it, he did it to music on Instagram, and it was a very, very quick thing. However, you could literally make this like a 10 or 12-minute piece in a kid's show. You could show the box, you open up both of the doors, front and back, you take the handkerchiefs off. They can see that there's nothing else inside the box.
Yeah, but the kids wasn't watch that for 12 or watch you.
You would with a bit of humour, with a bit of comedy.
Let's do this untied.
Are you done?
No. Are you put on it? Done.
Can sit back down. Great stuff. Okay, so have you got anything, Michael? I've got nothing.
The box looks cool, and I'm going to do my shoelace. What more could you want from a review?
Cool, I can do my shoelace. No, it would make a really funny 10 or 12 minute bit where you're making the handkerchiefs disappear one at a time and you're making them appear back inside the thing.
It is a very good trick.
Very, very good. Now, the thing for you to understand is you only get the box. You do not get the handkerchiefs. You have to supply your own bag.
1, 2, 3, 4.
6 handkerchiefs.
What's after 4?
5 and then 6. You need to get 6 handkerchiefs. We got slightly big handkerchiefs. We got like 12-inch. It really needs to be 9-inch. So the handkerchiefs that we were using in the box were a little bit big.
Compared to like 8-inch.
Yeah. Yeah. We got slightly too big handkerchiefs. The other thing is you need to have a way to vanish the handkerchiefs. They don't provide you with a way to vanish the handkerchiefs. You use the rip-apart change bag. Which you got from Practical Magic. So if you want to use a rip-apart change bag like Ryland does, you can get that from anywhere. Any change bag, any vanishing device that will vanish handkerchiefs or silks would work. But what you buy, what you get is the wooden box, the wooden thing. So you can open up both doors, you can show 3 handkerchiefs in there, take them off, close the doors, and once the handkerchiefs are vanished, they are back
Daddy,
there.
Mummy says the mosquitoes in the UK, is that true?
Yes. So, yeah, can we just finish the review, please? I don't know what's going on today. I'm so sorry. I very much like this. I know
I'm
you.
still here. I'd be very surprised.
I know you said you wanted to do this in your show. What are you giving it?
This is going to get like 10 views until halfway and then it's just going to be 0.
Could you give it a rating?
People are just going to skip to the end.
Could you give it a rating?
I'm going to give it a very high percentage.
Which would be?
A very high percentage.
So give it to them.
A very high percentage.
Please give them a percentage.
No, A, B, E, R. You get it? It like you carry on. That's the percentage. A very high percentage.
What?
The rating system's had another upgrade.
A, B, E, R, Y, H, I, G. I can't think of it. I stopped at the top of my head because I know how to spell it. Like when I'm writing it down.
Of course you do.
Shut up, H.
H.
P, E, R, C, E, R.
C-E-R.
Per. No, C, E, N. T, A, G, E.
I'm going to give this 95% because of 2 reasons. One, I would definitely do it in my kids'
I'm
show.
doing this.
And
You're going on my
2,
kids' show.
I'm not
It's not only
insane.
12 minutes.
Nothing in your show goes over like 3 or 4 minutes. It gets 95% from me. It gets a very high percentage from Ryland. Thank God for Small Mercies. That's the final review on this monstrosity of a review show. We're going to wrap this up.
There's no review show in bag. There's no review show in bag. There's no review show bag.
That is another review show in the bag. Thank you once again for joining us right here on Magic TV. You want to see more videos like this, like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below. We're going to be...
Skimmed it.
We're going to be back again
skimmed it.
next Wednesday with another review show.
I got a
But
riddle
thank
for
you
you.
so much. What?
I got riddle.
You got a riddle? Well, go on. No one's watching this at this point. Give me the riddle.
Okay, right. So
Yep.
there's a guy who lives in like a block of flats.
What's his name?
Bob.
Okay.
Bob number 5.
Okay.
Yeah. And every day he goes down to level 0. He's like on floor 20. And he goes down to level 0. And then he goes to work. He comes back home. He goes to level 5 and then walks the rest of the way. Unless it's raining. When it's raining, he goes to 0. He goes to work. He goes back into the lift and he goes straight up to level 20. How come?
I don't know. Say it again.
So there's a guy.
Bob.
Bob number 5.
Lives on level 20.
Yeah. Every day he goes to 0. He goes to work. He comes back. He goes to 5. He goes up. Unless it's raining. And then he goes to level 0. He goes to work. He comes back. But he goes straight to level 20. Why?
Because when it's raining, he's wet and he wants to go straight to his apartment, but if it's not raining, he's trying to get some extra exercise.
No.
He's trying to lose weight.
No.
He's an idiot.
He's already very fit.
Is he? He's an idiot.
No.
You got any ideas?
No clue.
He a gnome.
He's a gnome.
Yeah, so when it's raining, he's got an umbrella and he can
I don't
press
think there's
level
any such
20.
thing as a gnome. Do you mean a dwarf?
Yeah, dwarf. And then when he, and then he picks up his umbrella and goes level 20. Abracadabra. You okay in there? No, you're not. I need to plug my switch in. I heard that humans conduct electricity.
Michael, make it stop, please. Follow us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, follow us on social media, follow Ryland on Ryland the Kid Magician. Thank you so much. Don't forget to join the Netrix, www.thenetrix.com.
Get next to charge.
I'm seriously considering doing this review show without him. Please let me know in the comments down below. I'll see you again next week. Say bye, Ryland.